Today we're going back to the land of Wano to see how Yamato fares post OP11 and pre OP12, especially with the new support that it has gotten with its new structure deck. And we're going to be going over my card choices as well as my rationale with the deck. So stay tuned. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys later. So before we begin, I just wanted to say again, thank you guys for checking out my revisited on the my revisited deck profile of Marco. Now we're going to revisit Wano and showcase you guys a Yamato list that I've been working on for quite some time. I would say it's a lot more refined than before. I took the time to kind of take back not only just researching and trial and erroring with this deck, but also just testing it out with other lists. And I came down with this list after the starter deck came out. So if you guys aren't familiar with the Yamato leader, she's essentially just a double attack. So it's your auto aggro leader that hits for 2 life and has the ability, if your opponent has 3 or less life, you can choose 2 of your rested Dawn and attach it to one of your characters, which is actually a really explosive ability. So hopefully, so as we go through the deck, I'll show you why you'll be taking advantage of this leader very often. So we're going to start off with the staples of the deck. So we play the new Yamato Searcher that's exclusive to the starter deck right now. So when she comes into play, you get to check the top 5 for a Land of Wano character that's cost 2 or more, and then put the rest to the bottom in any order. So this is your only 1 cost in the deck other than the Blaze Slice. So you shouldn't be whiffing on the ability. And she also has a nice ability with 2 Dawn underneath. She gains an additional 3k, so she swings for 5 on her own. So she's a 5k level 1. I mean a 5k 1 cost, which is really nice. Continuing on, we're running about 12 2 costs. So we're playing 4 copies of the Kozuki Hiyori. So I think I ran it in my last list, but we're keeping it in here because it's one of the easiest Land of Wano characters that you can search, and it's also searchable 2k. So you basically use her to shuffle your triggers into your life, as well as to see if you can stack the 0 cost event to the bottom of your life if possible. And it's a 2k counter. Next, we play 2 copies of this Ezo blocker from the starter deck, which also has the ability on play, give one of your Land of Wano leaders banish. So pairing it with the Yamato, if you have enough enough Dawn, you can easily turn this into a 8k with 8 to 9k, actually 8k plus with banish, which threatens guard. And on top of that, we're also playing another banisher character that gives banish. The favorite non-Wano Land of Wano character, Onami, which also has the trigger ability to pop a 5 cost or less character. So you have basically 8 ways to get banish, and if you give that leader banish, you get to threaten, block, and your opponent has to bleed hand for it, which is really nice. Or just threaten a blocker. And forgot to mention with this Ezo, it only gains the blocker when it has 2 Dawn on underneath. So you can, if you have about 5 to 7 Dawn, you cast it, go 10 to life, 8 to 10 or 8 to 10 life, 8 to 10 to your opponent's life. If it sticks, you put 2 Dawn underneath, and now you have a blocker. So that's a nasty play that I will sometimes like to use if I'm ahead, or if my opponent doesn't have any blockers. Continuing on, we got the cost 3s. So we play the staple for Ezo from the OP01, which rests at cost 4 or less, but it's also just your generic 2k. And then this new 3 cost that we were playing is Ashura Doji. It's here to KO 5 cost or less characters if your opponent has 3 or more life. So if you're behind in the damage race, you're able to at least pop up, like kill any blockers or kill any attackers that your opponent may try to that they play last turn in order to try swing wide. So it helps you kind of break their board down. And then for 4 costs, we're playing 12 4 costs. So we're playing the new Kinemon, which is a 2k counter as well as a 5k body that can be played if your opponent has 3 costs or less and you have a Land of Wano leader. We also have 4 Neko Mamushi, which also gets played if your opponent has 3 life or less, except this one also has, if you have 2 Dawn underneath it, it can attack an active character. And then everybody's favorite trigger character, 4 Kikunojo. And if you don't know what she does, it's basically a 6k body, and it can come into play if your opponent has 3 life or less, and if it gets KO'd, you get to put the top card of your deck into life. So it's free heal. So like the purpose with the 4-step is trigger them so you can have multiple bodies to swing wide, so your Yamato can just easily close the game. And then for our 5-drop, we just play 5 copies of the Momonosuke blocker, which also sends a Land of Wano character other than basically Momonosuke to the top of your life, face up. So this helps you stay in the game as long as you can, and it's also a 6k blocker. Now Momonosuke has another card that you can also play, which is the starter deck Momonosuke Rusher. Actually, this card is actually really busted. It has helped me win quite a few games by just simply playing this and swinging wide, and then swinging with Momonosuke with its rush ability. So what Momonosuke does is during my turn, if I have 2 or less life, my Yamato becomes a 6k during my turn. So that's actually infinitely better because you get to decrease the number of Dawn that you have to commit onto the Yamato in order to swing for damage and force block. And the play that I sometimes like to do is use the leader ability to load 2 Dawn up to 2 of my rested Dawn onto the Momonosuke, and then move whatever standard Dawn I have either onto the Yamato or another attacker, swing into it, swing with Yamato, and then use Momonosuke to remove 2 Dawn that was underneath another that, because it says for its second ability, activate return 2 of your Dawn that is given to another character. Was it 2 of your return two total of your current given Dawn to your cost area rested. So basically you get to return any Dawn attached to your character, and then it gains plus 1000 and rush. So it's already an 8k swing, with 2 Dawn underneath, it's a 10k swing. And essentially what you get to do is, if your opponent is low in hand, like very low in hand or full of bricks, this will usually swing for lethal. And then lastly, we still play Hody, but I play 3 because I needed to make room for other pieces. And if you don't know what Hody does, rest 2 characters, and it's a rush. It is like the best rush in the game. And then for the events, we play 2 You're the One Who Should Disappear and 3 Blaze Slice. So for those who aren't familiar with Blaze Slice, it basically gives a character plus 1k, and if my opponent's 2 life or less, I can rest one of their cost 4 or less characters. So this is really good when I'm trying to push for a game and then they have like 4 cost or less blockers, at least 1 or 2. I can rest it and just go straight to the face to my opponent and pretty much try to win the game as quickly as possible. So pretty much this deck is just balls to the wall aggro. That's what I like about Yamato, is especially with the new pieces, she just becomes a pure aggro deck that when used properly just helps you close the game really quickly. And that's one of the reasons why I like her. She's not only is she my favorite character in One Piece, but her playstyle just screams aggro. And there are some days where I just want to play an aggro deck and not have to think. And Yamato, you still gotta think, but not as much. If you know what you're doing and you know the plays, it's pretty, it plays very smoothly. So I hope you guys like this video. I will be doing a deck profile of green purple Luffy later, followed by blue purple Luffy later, and then I will be doing an update on my Blackbeard deck. I've been tweaking that deck for a while, so who knows. The other video that I will probably be doing is another Vice Shorts video. I am going to be doing some Vice Shorts content. I've just been having a lot in the works with not only prepping my business as well as just work stuff. So I hope you guys like this video, this deck profile. I will be doing another video. It's going to be a discussion video about how I feel about the current, basically, One Piece, Vice Shorts, and Pokemon stance. In a sense, I'm going to be talking about like the state of investing trading card games. So hopefully you guys like this video, and if you guys want to see me talk about like what's the state, how's the state in terms of investing and deck building, I will gladly talk about that. Please, once again, hit that like button if you like this video, and don't forget to subscribe again, because I will be doing more competitive videos, as well as you're going to be seeing probably vending videos in the near future. And don't forget to check out my my social media. I combined both the channel and the business social media down, so I'll put the new Instagram, and the TikTok's still the same, and the Twitter's still the same. So just feel free to check those out, and peace out, YouTube, and stay on point.